Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
That was some kind of baseball Friday and Saturday, wasn't it, with the World Series?
Yeah, exciting. No doubt about it. That was good stuff.
Yeah. Do you think? Did you think the runner was safe at home for the Blue Jays in the ninth, and when they went to review, that they just couldn't say? I mean, it's really, really close, and I know that there's pictures out there that show Connor Falefa right before, but you're trying to see if the catcher had lifted his foot, and Will Smith, and but as I was watching it, I was like, they can't overrule the home plate umpire and give a World Series to a team, not to, give a play to a team that's going to give you the World Series.
Yeah, I just thought he was out, so I don't know about giving you a World Series. If it was blatantly wrong, then they would have to do that.
Yeah.
But I just don't think there was enough to overturn it there.
Okay. But man, that was some kind of baseball.
Both games were really exciting.
I mean, it was just fantastic. And I'm sitting there. I didn't have a dog in the hunt. I didn't have one team that I hate this team, or I hate that team, or I hate this. There's enough players there that I don't care for. And I guess at the end, when the game started, I was like, okay, am I gonna root for the Blue Jays? I'm like, Max Scherzer, really good story, man. He pitched awesome. And then I'm like, Dodgers, man, they're trying to go back to back. They're trying to do something that hadn't been done in such a long time. Derek Jeter says in the pregame show, they asked if the Dodgers don't win, is it a failure? And he said, yes, it's a failure. And I'm like, man, I love that comment, because here's a guy that's a multi-time, World Series winner, won 3 in a row with the Yankees, and he understands what it's like, because he said, we were 3 outs away from winning 4 in a row, and that was a failure for us. And then I started rooting for the Dodgers, and then it looked like the Blue Jays were going to win that thing, and I thought the Muncy home run was huge, because it made it 4-3. It allowed the game to get tied up on a home run there in the ninth. But man, that was some kind of baseball.
Yeah, the home run in the ninth was huge too.
Yeah, because it tied up the ball game. But you know what I mean, though. Because
Muncy's home run made the Blue Jays maybe a little tighter. Just knowing that one swing could change everything.
Yeah, and I felt like as the game got on, once the game got tied by Rojas, that Muncy's home run just kind of got lost in the shuffle with everything that went on. Because there was a ton of things that went on.
Understandably so.
Yeah, but it's like, boy, Dave, the Dodger manager, he made all the right moves, didn't he? With the change in center field, and then boom, next play makes a huge play with the bases loaded. It was just time after time after time. He just made the right calls. Yeah,
2 good teams that played really well. You don't feel like either one of them gave it away by any stretch. Just really good baseball.
Yeah, and I feel for the Blue Jay fans who were, man, right there on the precipice. At home, country's about to just burst at the top. And the raucousness of the stadium. It's like, man, I can't even imagine trying to play in that type of a scenario, because you just you can't even, it's so loud you can't even think. But Dodgers win it. They go back to back, and Blue Jays are just, they go from worst to almost first. Preston is on the Yates Flooring Center on the Visual Edge IT hotline. He would like to talk Tech football. Good morning, Preston.
Hey, good morning, guys. Jeff is going to have to change his whole stick of penciling K-State as a loss, so it's a good morning,
No doubt.
But no, there was one play in particular that, and first off, shout out to Mac Leftwich. He clearly made a halftime adjustment and I know a lot of us were highly critical during the first half of him, but he clearly showed some growth there. But there was one play in particular that I thought was really, really good, and it was all set up by establishing the run. And I think Jacoby and Cam Dickey had 38 combined carries, and not all of those carries were successful. Some of them were 1 yard, 2 yards. That's what happens when you try and establish the run. But it was the 4th and 2 play where we sucked up the linebackers in play action, and it was that lob to Caleb Douglas that was clearly a touchdown. I thought that was a really, really good play call. It worked. Obviously, if it doesn't work, we're saying it's something different. But, that play was set up by establishing the run. And I thought Mac did a really, really good job in the second half. I think we averaged 12 yards of play in the second half. And there was you could just tell that there was some growth there. I mean, there was even a play to Terrence Carter where, there was a play action. He leaks out to the flat, gets a really big play. And we haven't really seen that this year. And I felt like, Mac deserves a lot of credit in that second half. And for all the hell he took in the first half, I think that's a really, really good sign. I would rather have an offensive coordinator that is bad in scripted drives and grows as the game goes on than the other way around. And that's my thoughts. So, I'll be there next for the BYU game. Hope to meet you guys. I'm really excited. I get to bring my little girls up, and they get to see this environment. So I'm a really proud Red Raider dad, and hopefully it strikes a fire, and I'm to go to school at Texas Tech.
You're a good man, Preston.
That's awesome, Preston. Come by Optimum Game Day Live. We'll be right out in front of the Fraser Alumni Pavilion before the ball game. The kick is at 11. So what he's referring to is the 10th drive. You started on your own 26. There was a big catch by Terrence Carter for 38 yards. Then with 2:09 to go there in the third quarter, there's the catch by Caleb Douglas. I put on my notes here, terrible call that takes it down to the 1 yard line, and then you get the 1 yard touchdown there just a moment later with $1:23 to go to put you up 29-14, and that was the 6th straight series that Texas Tech had scored on.
I'll say this. I don't think like the scripted drives that Mac is Coach Leftwich is bad at them. Again, if Coy Aiken doesn't drop a ball and your offensive line doesn't jump on a pre-snap penalty, then your first drive, it was rolling. Mm-hmm. But then you beat yourself. That wasn't his play calling. That was execution on the field.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Time for this day in sports history. It's the first Monday in November. Here is Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
Starting us off in 1934, New York Yankees first baseman Lou Gehrig wins the American League Triple Crown after hitting .363 with 49 bombs and 165 RBI.
Goodness, 165?
But Detroit Tigers catcher-manager Mickey Crochet, who hit .320 with 2 home runs and 76 RBI, is named the AL MVP.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Because Gehrig had won the MVP the year before, and you couldn't have back-to-back winners.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
1942. Boston Red Sox outfielder Ted Williams wins the American League Triple Crown. Hit .356, 36 dingers, and 137 RBI. But Yankees pitcher Joe Gordon is the AL MVP. I could not tell you how furious I would be.
No doubt.
If I won the Triple Crown and didn't win the MVP.
Right. It's like, what else do I got to do?
I have no issue with a pitcher winning it if that's how it goes. Like that's those are two different conversations. But you win the MVP and don't win you win the Triple Crown and don't win the MVP. That pitcher better have been like 30-0 with a sub-1 ERA if a pitcher wins it. 1973. BYU receiver Jay Miller sets an NCAA football single-game record with 22 catches for 263 yards en route to a 56-21 victory over New Mexico at Cougar Stadium in Provo, Utah.
Jay Miller, man. I don't know if he ever played in the NFL, but I don't never recall that name.
1989 NBA expansion. Minnesota Timberwolves make their NBA debut. They fall to the Seattle Supersonics, 106-94 at the Seattle Center. T-Wolves' top scorer, Tyrone Corbin, has 20 points. And in 2007, Texas Tech beats Baylor for the 12th straight time, 38-7. Graham Harrell goes 37 for 46 for 433 yards and count them 1-2-3 touchdowns. It is National Sandwich Day.
And you're just going to tell me have a sandwich. Pick one.
Hey, it's like he's a mind reader. Mm-hmm. Find a sandwich. Enjoy.
Good.
Dolph Lundgren is 68, Roseanne Barr 73, Phil Simms 72, and Dwight Evans is 74. And on this day, 1964, residents of the District of Columbia cast their ballots in a presidential election for the first time since 1800. The passage of the 23rd Amendment in 1961 gave citizens of the nation's capital the right to vote for a commander-in-chief and vice president. They went on to help Democrat Lyndon Johnson defeat Republican Barry Goldwater in 64, which was the next presidential election. I tried to figure out how they got their votes counted between 1800 and 1964. Like, were they part of Virginia? Were they part of Maryland? How did that fall? But I couldn't find it quickly this morning.
Okay.
Because it's a Monday and I don't have, hours to do research on that. But I find it hard to believe that a city had the chance to vote. It just didn't count for D.C.
Gotcha.
And that is This Day in Sports History.
This Day in Sports History. Thank you, Jeff. Some things here from the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the Double T 97.3 mobile app presented by Happy State Bank. I know that folks have gotten frustrated with the offensive inconsistency in play calling at times, but is the offensive line the biggest obstacle for Texas Tech at this point?
You're so strong in so many areas that because you're not just awesome at the offensive line position, it feels like, that's the, I don't want to say weakest link, but it's the area where you're not as good as other areas, right?
Yeah, I think they're onto something there. Whether you call it obstacle or weakness or not a strength, I think it's all right there. On the radio broadcast on Double T 97.3 on Saturday, this is after Stone Harrington hits the goalpost because he had all the kicks. So clearly he's the kicker now, right?
Appears that way.
They changed deep snappers after that miss. That was according to Chris Level, who was there on the sideline. And after that, and I didn't recall that particular snap was wonky or off.
I did not either.
But apparently after that, they changed deep snappers. You're going to have to help me with this, Jeff. I don't know what this is. Dear Chuck, I find myself as satisfied as a healthy belly banker with a cigar the size of a hammer handle following Saturday's game. Okay.
Sounds like a very happy guy sitting behind a desk with a giant cigar in his mouth and his feet up. So
I've never heard that term. Had you heard that term before, healthy belly banker?
No, but I can pretty much picture it.
Okay. Jamie?
Boss Hogg from Dukes of Hazzard comes to mind.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay.
And a cigar the size of a hammer handle. I'm not a cigar smoker. I don't have anything against people that do. It's just not for me.
Boss Hogg from the Dukes of Hazzard comes to mind as the image in my head for this.
Terrence Carter is a beast, catches the ball and then goes headhunting, looking for some poor DB to just demolish and truck over. Yeah. Somebody else says, yes, it was good to see TC back in his beast mode, looking to bowl over whatever defender he can find. He definitely looked like he was healthy again. And Jamie, you weighed in as well.
Yeah, I feel like he's a big difference maker. I mean, we all talked about how much we needed Baron Morton back to help this offense, but I think it maybe went a little bit unnoticed that we really missed Terrence Carter as well.
Mm-hmm. The two defensive stands, when we fumbled it right back to them, turned the game. Yeah, Cam Dickey did that. Somebody wants to know how many of those false starts were on the road versus home. I don't know. It seems like we've probably had a few more on the road than at home, especially at Utah and at K-State.
I would guess a large majority is on the road, yeah.
A couple of notes from the ball game on Saturday. I didn't know this. It's the 12th time in school history that the Red Raiders have opened a season with an 8-1 record or better. You did it in 32, 33, 38, 40, 41, 53. Took a break till 65, another break till 73, 76, and then a big break between 76 and 2005, 2008, and it's been 17 years since you've done it. So you've done it now in 2025, an 8-1 start.
Nice.
Okay. I think this is also very interesting. Now with 5 or more conference wins over 4 straight years for Texas Tech, since conference records were documented to begin the Red Raiders' inaugural season in the Southwest Conference in 1960, so some 65 years ago. And remember, when Joey McGuire was hired, you hadn't won 5 games in the conference in the Big 12 since 2009. So that's significant now that you're 5 or more over 4 straight years. And the other thing that's interesting to me, and I'm sure people know this, Jamie and Jeff, you probably had this off the top of your head, all 8 of Texas Tech wins have been by 20 or more points this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you had the 3 cupcakes early on, but obviously the Big 12 ones, not so cupcake-ish, with the exception maybe of Oklahoma State.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
We'll have Jamie's question of the day at 7:30 this morning. This week's going to be a really distracting week, just with everything that's going on. So I would encourage you to go to work early and just knuckle down as best you can, because, we got hoops tonight, hoops tomorrow night, hoops Thursday, hoops Friday, ball game Saturday, more hoops Sunday. It's busy. Busy. Right? So, if you're one that kind of gets distracted easily, you can get just distracted just with a football game on Saturday because it's massive. It's as big a game as we've had since 2008, right, at home?
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we know what's going to happen. Just people are going to kind of lose their minds about Thursday, if not before, just getting ready for the ball game. Caleb's non-touchdown catch was probably the worst call. It didn't end up mattering because we still scored, but I don't know what the replay booth was watching, but it wasn't the Tech versus Kansas State game. He also shouldn't be allowed to review the Tech game this week. Well, I don't know that that's the case.
I would love an explanation. Maybe Chris can help us out on that when he comes in today. I just what did they see that saying no touchdown?
Yeah.
There was not a knee or elbow down.
Mm-hmm.
The ball is clearly above the goal line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's broken the plane. What's the explanation there?
Yeah, I don't know.
They didn't call it live on the field and there wasn't enough to overturn? How was there not enough?
Yeah. Would you have liked to have seen that challenged?
No.
It was reviewed. It didn't need to be challenged.
Was it reviewed? Okay, I didn't realize it was reviewed too.
Because it was a scoring
I thought we
play.
got up to this. I thought we went up to the line of scrimmage real fast and went boom, boom.
It was a scoring potential scoring play, so it was being reviewed.
Okay, so it was
so
still
you wanted
reviewed.
Joey McGuire to go, hey, look at it again. I know you already made up your mind, but look at it again.
Look at it again. Well, don't you say that? Haven't you done that to people before, like your wife or your kids? Why don't you look at that again? Can we look at that again? Can we do that again? No.
The difference is when Jamie tells me to look at it again, he's my boss and he's right.
There was something on the chat line that Chuck kept reading wrong a couple weeks ago, and we kept or last week maybe, and we kept telling him, read it again, and you kept seeing it in your mind one way, even though it was something different.
Right.
I can't remember what it was. That's basically what we wanted Joey McGuire to do.
Yeah.
No, come back, go look at it again, and come back with a better answer.
Come back with a better answer. Right. Somebody says this: the Big 12 has never missed a call. Right.
None of them.
I saw David Bailey being held a few times. Wondered where their flag was a couple of times.
Yeah, those are the kind of things you can probably squawk about on every play, one way or the other.
No question. I was going to get to this. Were you guys more surprised?
Okay, so how, if you put them all together, right? How is the first one that you talked about, Chuck, with the catch, the fumble, the recovery? No, not a catch. That's not a catch. But the guy that we deck over on the sideline, the running back, late in the game, and he gets knocked out of bounds. He doesn't control the ball. He loses the ball out of his hands, and that's a catch. Mm-hmm. Wisniewski decks him and he loses the ball. That's a catch.
Yeah, it just seems so inconsistent, right?
But that one in the middle of the game, or early in the game, was not a catch. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, their husband said, I don't understand the rules anymore. That's where I was. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just guessing now. I'm just totally guessing now. I don't understand college football rules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you piece those two together? And I'm like, what? Okay, I'll just wait until they tell me all the time now.
Somebody says this: the Big 12 has never missed a call. Yeah.
That was so good you read it twice.
Yeah, right. So good I read it twice. I want to go back to something because I think this is a bigger play in the game than maybe we've discussed it, and maybe because it didn't turn out to be a big play because of what your defense did. But with 12:44 to go in the fourth, K-State finishes up an 8-play, 75-yard drive with a 9-yard touchdown pass to Garrett Oakley. That guy was really good. And that makes it 29-20. They go for 2 right there, and it fails. Okay? Then Texas Tech, we go 3 and out. And then K-State picks up a first down on their next possession, but on 4th and 1 at the 50, Bryce Pollock, he had a great game.
He did.
He gets a big sack, and you're thinking, oh wow, this is going to be just awesome because there's 7:16 to go in the ball game, and you have a chance to. And then the first play right after that, you fumble. The fumble by Cam Dickey, and then the defense bails you out again as K-State has to go for it on 4th and 7, and John Curry knocks out a ball that was going to be complete to Garrett Oakley, and Tech took over on possessions there, and but then you go 3 and out again, so it's still 29-20. With 4:52, now it's a 2-score game, right? Which makes it really hard. But then this is when you have the Romello Height stripping it and John Curry scoop and score, and that really puts the game out of reach for K-State at that point in time at 36-20. But I mean, when you needed the offense to get some first downs, they didn't. But that shows you just how huge your defense is because they kept bailing out the offense.
That's fair. I think your defense has done a lot of that all season long. You started that with one play that we haven't talked enough about, but was a big play.
Was the 2-point conversion?
Okay, all right.
The 2-point conversion where you stopped them.
Yeah, I thought it was a big momentum play. I don't disagree with you.
Because that kept it at a 2-score game with 12:44 to go in the fourth.
Yeah, it just felt like a bigger mountain for them to climb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So sorry if I got a little ahead of myself there. I got excited as the defense kept making big play after big play after big play. Mm-hmm. And that's just something, something on the Double T 97.3 Coors Light postgame show from Saturday. I think Rob brought this up, that we're so accustomed to what we feel like the offense should look like, over the last 15 to 20 years, that when the offense isn't like spectacular, we're critical of it. Is the offense maybe better than we're giving it credit for, or is it an engine that's kind of sputtering a little bit, but then at times performs really well?
All the above. I think first off, your offense is still whatever it is, top 10 in the country. Mm-hmm. That's what the numbers say, and it's not like you've played. Yes, you played an easy non-conference schedule, and some of that factors in. But as far as Big 12 schedule goes, yours has been tough. Okay, and you still have one of the best offenses in the country. Has it been seamless and there have not been issues? No, there definitely have been issues. Has the playing a second and third string quarterback factored into that? Absolutely. I know your defense set you up on a couple of occasions here this week, and you're allowed to do that. Okay, but ultimately you had 43 points on the board. I know that all of those weren't. You got 7 coming from your defense, your defense there, but. I think I would not be upset with the output that you had from Saturday by any stretch of the imagination, but I would definitely tell you the output in the first half was frustrating.
Yeah. And I just think your offense is going to need to perform a little better on Saturday against BYU.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, guys, pretty simple question. After this week's action,
okay,
who plays in the Big 12 championship game?
You said it was a simple question after this week's action. Wow.
Okay. I'm going to say Texas Tech, and I just need to see who BYU plays.
TCU at home, at Cincinnati, home against UCF.
I think it's Tech and BYU. There's going to be a rematch for that Big 12 championship game.
Okay.
Man, I'm looking at this week's schedule too, and there's so much this week that is going to help determine that. Not just Tech BYU, but the TCU game as well. And man. Tech and it's still only one loss. Cincinnati runs that table, they can still get there. Same way we did. I'll take the Bearcats right now. Tech and Cincinnati.
I am taking a rematch just like Chuck, but it is not the same one.
Yeah, I thought about the one you're going to say, I think.
Who do you think I'm going to say?
Utah.
Yeah. I think Utah is going to win out. BYU could lose to us. They could lose to Cincinnati. Cincinnati would only have one loss at that point. They've got a tough one on the road at TCU to end the year. So I just feel like that BYU-Cincinnati game is really intriguing. I think Chuck's rematch could absolutely happen too, but I'm going with Tech against Utah.
I just think Cincinnati's fool's gold. Utah finishes with Baylor, Kansas State, and Kansas. They have Baylor on the road, K-State at home, and Kansas on the road. At home. Yeah, on the road at KU.
Yeah, I think Utah wins out.
Yeah, I do too. I'm with you on that. And they're going to lament the loss to Us and BYU. That's going to do them in. I think they're playing really good football right now.
Yeah, it's not like those are two bad losses, though.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, those are two of the best teams in the conference.
I mean, what do you think about my fool's gold statement on Cincinnati?
I think Cincinnati's good.
Okay.
I do. I think Utah's a tough place to play. It just makes that win for us in dominant fashion even that much more impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cincinnati is a good team. I don't know that. I think BYU is a better football team. But I think that playing at Cincinnati factors in there. And when BYU and Cincinnati face off here in a few weeks, I think that factors into it. But I just think Utah's schedule is light to finish. And I feel like there's just something's telling me there's going to be some craziness going down the stretch here.
Okay. Do you have any new concerns about West Virginia after what they did to Houston this weekend?
Oh, they showed that they, against a good defense on the road, that they can get their offense going. They showed that they have some weapons on offense. So I would tend to think that was as much about Houston being flat and kind of getting high on the hog, so to speak.
High on the hog. Okay.
Yeah. As much as it was about West Virginia suddenly figuring out how to play real college football.
Okay.
But I think that you look at that game and you saw, man, they got some playmakers.
Yeah.
They got college football players too.
Yeah.
Let me just put it to you this way, Chuck. If you're in position to play in the Big 12 championship game and you go to West Virginia and you don't win that game because you're not motivated to play,
I think you'll be very motivated to play.
I do too, but you're so much more talented than them.
I know. For some reason,
I think that's fair. That's okay.
I'm more concerned about that game, I feel like, than Saturday's game against BYU.
Have you guys seen the line for this weekend?
10. The one I saw this morning was 10.5.
That is shocking to me. What would you have guessed it was before you looked?
4.5, somewhere in that range.
I would have guessed 4.
Yeah. I'm terrible at that, so I'll go with.
I would have favored us. Maybe 5. Maybe 5.
I kind of was in the 5-6 range.
Yeah, somewhere 4 to 5. Yeah, that's shocking to me.
Now, exponentially better at home. That is probably where some of it comes from.
Have we been bad on the road?
One game.
With a backup quarterback.
With a backup quarterback.
And you still almost won.
The ESPN matchup predictor has Texas Tech at 61% of a chance to win over BYU.
61% does not say 10.5 for the line to me. That says 5.
Yeah.
81 says 10.5.
Yeah.
I was really surprised when I saw that yesterday. 10.5. And it's still that way today. I did check.
I'm still concerned about the offense. I'm just going to say that. I'm still a little concerned about the offense.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But
the way they kind of just couldn't get out of their own way in the first quarter. Now, you want to talk about making adjustments? You had all those penalties early on, and it went like, oh my goodness, here we go. Mm-hmm. You only ended up with 4.
Yeah.
You only ended up with 4. I bet you, my guess is Coach McGuire peeled some paint off the walls at halftime.
And 3 of them were by your 4th possession.
Yeah. It seems like, was there 1 in the second half?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
The lighting off offside that they didn't pick up was in the second half.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the one that was...
Yeah, I can't remember. I would have guessed that one was in the first half, but seriously, I cannot remember.
I think that was in the second half.
7:40 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Whatever it is, man, it's going to be fun.
This is the Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Hour 3 of this fine radio program, coming to you from the First United Bank studio. at least in my extremely humble opinion. Right?
Yes, it is the third hour of the 3-hour show.
My humble opinion. No comment on that.
No comment.
No comment on that.
Okay.
Yates Flooring Center chat line is open. Visual Edge IT hotline is open as well. We'll have High School Fan Zone tonight at 6. Coaches from Estacado, Friendship Memorial, and Liberty all paying a visit. This is the last week of the regular season for high school football. Crazy how quickly that goes by.
Some playoff berths still on the line?
Yeah, absolutely. And some that have been locked up. Friendship is in. Lubbock Cooper's in. Liberty is in. Estacado is in. Monterey is trying to be in. They've got a big matchup on Thursday with Caprock. Win and you go in. It's as simple as that. They hold fate in their hands, Jamie.
They do.
They control their destiny.
They do.
They do.
Yeah. I really think that you can use both of them. Okay.
And we'll have that game Thursday night for you on 96.9 The Bull as the Plainsmen attempt to get into the playoffs for back-to-back years. The Dallas Cowboys will play tonight on Double T 97.3. They are 3-4-1. They will take on the Arizona Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett is going to start for the Cardinals tonight. That's a little bit of a surprise. But
Jeff, what's his record at the stadium?
Kyler Murray?
No, Jacoby Brissett.
No idea.
Oh, okay. So you only know Kyler Murray's?
Because he's undefeated.
He's undefeated
Ever.
at
any level.
At any level.
But that was
Stadium.
like a reason that you thought the Cardinals would win.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I landed on a tie on Friday. Because the Cowboys, it's the other every other week, so they'd be playing better. But, I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. I'm not going to bet against, why can't I think, Tom Brady in the playoffs. Which button do you push? It's the Cowboys play better every other week, but Kyler Murray's never lost. Both, it's a tie. But now that Kyler Murray's now playing, the Cowboys will win tonight.
You stick to too many analytics and previous things that have happened in the past, and clearly they run into each other sometimes, right?
Exactly.
So something's got to give, kind of one of those deals, right? Yeah, this is another one of those broadcaster terms, right, Chuck?
Yes.
That we use, right? Something's got to give here.
Something's got to give, right?
And it did. Kyler Murray's not playing, so now the Cowboys can win.
So no, nothing has to give then.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
we can keep going with our same trends.
I'll just say this.
Well, that's good news. That means the Cowboys are going to win.
I'll just say this. You need to win to put yourself in a position to make the playoffs. This is one of those games that you need to win. How about this?
If you're going to have a shot to make the playoffs, you got to.
Yeah.
This is one that you got to put into the win column, no doubt.
How about this little nugget for you? Okay, Kyler Murray, 8-0 as a starter at Jerry's place. He's questionable with a foot injury, okay? This is the 93rd time in their history that the Cowboys, in some form or fashion, of the Cardinals have met, whether they were in St. Louis or in Phoenix or in named Arizona or whatever, okay? Probably even I don't think they go back to Chicago, the Chicago Cardinals. The last time the Cowboys beat the Cardinals in Texas was 2005 at Old Texas Stadium. That is crazy.
How many times have they played there since then?
I don't know.
In the last, since 2005, have the Cardinals been some dominant team?
Well, they had those good years with,
They've had a couple of good years
when they went to the Super Bowl.
The Cowboys have also had some, we decided not to play football games versus the Cardinals since then.
Yeah. And it's a long time for them but surely they haven't played there more than like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if it was more than 5.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know, the Cardinals, it's not like every year they're top of the NFC.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I got you. I got you on that. The
Cowboys just haven't been fantastic during that stretch either. So
I feel like this is a game though that Dak Prescott should feast on though.
Should. He does really well against bad teams.
And I think Dak's having a really good season.
No argument.
Mm-hmm. And the question is, can the Cowboy defense
have a pulse?
Have a pulse, yeah.
Well,
and they do something.
Well, it's the every other week, so they should.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it rolls.
Well, and I mean, a couple weekends ago, it was against a quarterback who got hurt, and they played against the backup and took advantage of that. So maybe they can do that again this time.
Let me piggyback off of Chuck's point real quick from earlier, where he was saying that if the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs, that this is a win that they need to get. They have 3 on the year. There are 12 teams in the NFC that have more wins than they do right now. Most of them have 2 more wins than the Cowboys do right now. I'm not saying the Cowboys need to run the table at this point, because eventually those teams are going to play each other, and that's going to help even out a little bit. But if the Cowboys want to make the playoffs, that loss column can't tick up just a whole lot more this year.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, the Cowboys played the Cardinals in 2002 in Arlington, in 2019 in Arlington.
2002 was before that period, right? So you said since 2005.
Yeah. Okay, so 2019, 2012. So maybe it's not as 2. Maybe it's not, and that's just doing the quick look here. Maybe stat's not as good a stat as I thought it was.
It's not like they're division rivals,
right? Yeah,
right. Where they play every year.
Yeah. The big question is what quarterback started for the New Orleans Saints? That'd be Tyler Shuck. Somebody says this: they've played 10 times since 2005, 4 at home, 6 on the road. Okay.
So it was closer to what we guessed.
Yeah. So maybe not that big a deal.
Tyler Shuck, 15 for 24, 176 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, sacked 1 time for 9 yards.
That seems pretty good first start.
I checked in on the NFL merchandise shop for sales for Tyler Shuck jerseys. 1 was the number. 1. And you'll see that 1.
I wonder who could have bought that one.
Later on today.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.